Yes, sir. Welcome through the Hardaway, aka the three-man Jaylen Weave, aka the best big three since LeBron D Wade, and Bias live on YouTube. If you are here, please leave a like in the stream. It helps us grow, helps this video get out there. We greatly appreciate it. If you're in the live stream, leave a comment to be part of the show. And also subscribe, man. We're on the way to that 200. We at 125 right now, so we need y'all to run those numbers up. Before I get into who I am, I just also want to say that we are also a low-rated, low-budget, hurting for views ass podcast, apparently, according to y'all, because y'all went crazy at us as a collective on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. But it's all good. We still love y'all. We still here. We still going to do what we do. And as Took mentioned, who's off camera right now for a good reason, any publicity is good publicity. So with that being said, if you don't know who I am the walking bucket, providing instant offense. It's your boy Savage. Up here, we got the coach on the sidelines, taking them to school, on and off the court. And when I say it's really shitty, it's really shitty. Shitty, what's good? You're on mute. Let me unmute you. Try it now.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I really hear me and you. But yo, I'm glad you got those quotes ready, man, because it's not like we said it. That's what they said. But here we are, another week.
Another week, man.
Basketball. I'll pass it on.
Let's pass it to. We also got your favorite DJ's favorite DJ, the sample man himself, Mr. Ted Shakir, Mr. Enemy 101 from Grizzlies Twitter. What up, to?
Bro, I don't even want to show my face right now. Boy, them folks call me no.
Wow. I mean, I didn't see that one coming.
This man.
I lost my head. But look, Grizz Nation, y'all done pissed me off. Pissed y'all off, so it's cool. You know, I got to rep my Panthers today. Make sure y'all check us out on Let's Be Real. We talking about Panthers today, how they gonna win the NFC South, but it is what it is. But y'all are mean. Y'all are some of the most. I thought some people shouldn't have a pod, right? But people get on podcasts to express themselves, to express their opinions, to kick it with the homies is what I essentially do. This is talk that I believe in. Thank God for Sheedy, my guy for riding with me. I guess Savage, you to a point as well. But I took a lot of fire for what I said about, for those checking this out for the first time, for what I said about the Memphis Grizzlies not making the playoffs. You just go watch the clip. You ain't even gotta go back to the episode. I prefer you watch the episode so you can get more in depth of why, but just go watch the clips. Go look at the tweets. Speaking of the tweets, I do want to take the time to read out a couple of my favorite ones. Because like this was straight entertainment for me. This is, I think, my 15 seconds of fame, and I appreciated every single second of it. But like one guy said, crime already high, bro. I mean, it's true, but my thing is, as long as and one guy was like, Ja Morant gonna come at you. As long as Ja Morant come at me with peace and not with a piece, I'm cool. Because we can talk about the rest of the shit later. I'm good with it. One of my other favorite ones said, I want y'all to know y'all have made it to some Facebook Grizz groups. My mama literally called me asking, did I have a Twitter to relate a message? She wants a sit down. Y'all, mama want to sit down with me.
Hey, bring her ass on it.
Mama want to sit down with me, dog.
We'll have some housewives on here. Come on.
Right.
I mean, hey, look, if she from Memphis, as long as she can cook, because I've been missing that Memphis home cooking meal. So if mama can cook, I'm happy to have a sit down whenever the next time I visit. Straight up, the one that kind of got to me, killing myself laughing. I'm gonna think that's what that means. Dudes that never got picked in 21 talking about basketball. My thing is, I never knew 21 was a team thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen.
Right, yeah. 21 is every man for himself, man.
The individual.
So I thought, no, you can't play 21. Go sit your ass in the corner over there. Nah, you good.
Look, I grew up playing 21 with eight niggas on the court. And if you score, you mean you deserve to score.
Right.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
And you better hit 21 from where
right.
I'm from. Exactly 21. I have to share that, Savage. I appreciate that, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my three the Hardaway brothers on bringing this podcast such low ratings and such low just expectations, I guess, from this point on.
Okay, bro. Low rated, low budget.
Low budget
for listeners. Like this is what it was. Somehow we gained 15 followers on Twitter last week. I mean, I don't maybe doing something right. I don't know.
Them the 15 that really thought about what I said and like, damn, this nigga right.
That's the thing, man.
That's
like,
what it was.
Y'all can't, as viewers and listeners, y'all can't just take 60 seconds from an edited clip. I edit stuff for a reason. I make it so that it captivates you and pulls you in. So what you're telling me is I'm doing a damn good job. What you're telling me is Hardaway is doing a damn good job. That's all that I heard. We had some guy that was talking about the way you edit the video is bad. I'm like, well, do you want to come be my editor? I would love that. I'll pay you $5 to go be my editor. Please do.
Whoever that was, though, right? Don't know if he has a show or not, but clearly checked on our show, and I'm sure we have his.
And he had no profile picture, but we're gonna leave it right there because I ain't trying to be
next slide.
It is what it is. We still gonna be here. We're gonna be here this week, next week, every week.
Call me a witch with a capital B. I have to block her. I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all.
But let's keep the energy positive, man. Let's get into some. Do your NBA trivia first, and I ask my.
Of course. It's real easy, real simple. Y'all get 2 guests. Y'all should get it on the first one, actually. Okay. But to the fans out there is one particular player that actually played against the 72-10 Bulls and the 73-9 Warriors. Can you name that player? Again, you get 2 tries. We're gonna keep this going.
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, there is one player. Y'all know him. Trust me. Y'all know him. Everybody knows him.
My guess,
basketball fan, you know him. Huh?
Was it? Ooh.
He said Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
Who you say, Sheedy? Kevin Garnett? First try.
Damn, he got it. Okay.
First try. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Good one, Sheedy.
All right. So here's my question. It's not a trivia question. It's more so a thought that I had as I was watching the USA versus New Zealand. 2 of these players performed very well. And just throughout like the exhibition games or whatever, you are a general manager and you have your choice of who you are starting a team with. You can pick Anthony Edwards or Paolo Banchero. Who are you picking?
Anthony Edwards.
Ooh, no hesitation.
And it's funny we're talking about, top 10 shooting guards this episode. Anthony Edwards. Easy. He showed us, he's continuing to show us who he is as a scorer. And I think that he can be more of a dog defensively, but I think that's kind of what he's having to do on the Timberwolves last season because, of course, Cat missed some time. So I think Cat coming back will help. But we can see that he's literally on a team full of the young NBA talent saying, all right, this is my team. All right, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk more. I'm going to talk definitely more about Ant-Man. But to answer your question right now, it's Ant-Man. And shout out to Paolo, too.
For sure.
Yeah, I would also take Anthony Edwards. It's not even just what he does on the court, off the court. I kind of fell in love with his interviews. I remember retweeting some crazy ones before. He's grown. You literally watch him mature from his Georgia days. And, I can't really say stuff like that anymore. I can't be talking about Popeye's chicken all the time or whatever, right? And so what I'm seeing from him is growth on and off the court. Paolo just hasn't had that chance yet to show me that. Paolo's a force to be reckoned with in the paint, yes. However, if I'm going to choose one of those 2, would you rather, so to speak, to start a franchise? I want to take Anthony Edwards.
Okay, I ain't mad at that. I thought about that because Paolo's in his first year, well, his second year is now. Ant-Man's been in the league for a couple of years, and he's coming into his own. Even in Team USA, he is the clear best player on the team for Team USA. But I think Paolo showed himself yesterday that he is coming at some point. But I'm not mad either way. If you pick Paolo, if you pick Ant-Man, I think both are great starting points for any NBA team. So I just wanted to ask that question. I was just curious because Paolo's 6'10", 250, man. That's a big boy.
That's who you going with? You said who you going with?
I'm not picking it. I'm fine with it. I just want to know who y'all thought.
You're going to question, not choose.
I asked it.
Right, man.
I ain't got to answer it, man. I'm a teacher right now.
I'm asking you here.
Okay. Thank you.
Which one would you take? Come on.
If you are asking me if I'm looking at it from a holistic standpoint, I think I would pick Paolo. I would pick Paolo because they asked him last year to be a point forward kind of player, and he still averaged 23 points and like damn near 10 boards. And he can only get better. He's 20 years old now. He can only get better, and I think he's physically bigger than Ant-Man. He has way more room to grow, I think. But I mean, I'm not going to disrespect Anthony Edwards, man, because the dude can score with the best of them in the NBA. And when he's locked in on defense, he can lock down on defense. And I think one thing that stood out last year was that when they got eliminated from the playoffs, I think the year before this past year, he said that I need to work on my rebounding, and he improved his rebounding. So that lets me know once he needs to do it, he can do it. So I'm not mad either way. I'm gonna pick Paolo, but I mean, it ain't like it's a far gap between Paolo.
It ain't no far gap at all. My thing is with Paolo, I saw the Magic game that I did see and like watch for like bet purposes. He was inconsistent, but when he got it going, I'm looking at a young Carmelo Anthony. No disrespect to Melo, his three's not there yet, but you can see that he got the potential for it. And the post game ain't there, but you can definitely see the potential for it. And he had 3 blocks last night with Team USA at center. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, okay. He playing center now, but play like point forward for the
Magic. Yeah, but that's all the Magic shit. You can put him at the 5 now.
Yeah, that's my problem I have right there. We can get started with our list or whatever wants to go next. But like, why does he have to play point forward? Didn't y'all draft about 47 guards?
Point guard. Point guard.
Doesn't matter.
Anthony Black.
Somebody got to bring the ball down besides him, bro. Wow. Yes. All right. My fault.
All right. Speaking of, so let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about top 10 shooting guards in the NBA. Last week was top 10 point guards. This week we're going next over to the shooting guards. Last year, I was telling Took in the pre-show that it was kind of difficult because there weren't that many great shooting guards in the NBA. But I mean, now we kind of get some interesting mixture up in there. So I'm gonna let Took go first, and then am I next, Chidi, after Took, and then you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do honorable mentions first, or honorable mentions and bottom 5.
I say honorable mention and bottom 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So honorable mention, we talked about it in the message a little bit. I gotta go CJ McCollum. We know he's a damn hooper, but his numbers did drop from the previous year, and he averaged 20 points last year, but the year before he had like 24. And we don't know what literally is going on with the Pelicans. Like what kind of the roster that they got is stagnant. I don't think they added anybody, and they would kill with the injury bug last season with Brandon Ingram and the linebacker that they got. So if they can come in, he can possibly do better, but it's still like a steady roster all around for the Pelicans. So I'm like, I can't really put him in this top 10. Another one, even though he's classified as a point guard, I did watch the Detroit Pistons games, and they had Jaden Ivory at shooting guard most of the games. So I did want to recognize him. He was a rookie last year, averaging 16, 5 assists, and 4 boards. Not bad, especially when, Ja Morant, not to bring him up, but averaged 18 and 7 his rookie year. Not too bad if you ask me. All right, so to get into my bottom 10, again, my bottom 10 starting at 10, I got Josh Giddey. I don't know if he's even nowhere near y'all list. Cool. But Josh Giddey, somebody that's 6'8", so he's literally the tallest shooting guard outside of Trey Murphy, who's also 6'8". But he averaged 16.5 points and 8 rebounds and 6 assists last season. That's not bad. You know what I'm saying? He was that playmaker when Shea, was getting going or couldn't get going. He can get other people a basket. He's that glue guy that does well on this particular Oklahoma City Thunder team. And when you look at Chet Holmgren coming back, of course the rebounds may drop, but I'm pretty sure the assists gonna go up. So we could be looking at a top 3 assist getter in the league possibly, or even as a shooting guard, like I said, top 5 in shooting guards with 6 assists a game. Not bad. So that's 10. Number 9, Zach LaVine. I got to still recognize Zach LaVine, even though literally he had the same averages as last season. He was top 4 in scoring still. The Bulls won in the playoffs. Do I expect them to be in the playoffs this year? Nah. So, you want to I still want to recognize the goodness. He still can be great. But like I say, he literally the same averages as last season. So I got him at 9. Number 8. I didn't even want to put this dude in. But I'm still going to respect the person that he is in the regular season, and that player is James Harden. James Harden averaged the most assists last season, 20 points a game still. Where would he be playing? He won't be with the talent that he's with the Sixers. Again, he's going to leave the MVP that is Embiid. He's going to leave a point guard in Tyrese Maxey, which nobody brought up last pod. My bad about that, Maxey. Nobody brought up him and how they're going to turn up, but I think we're all kind of expecting the Sixers to be kind of taking a step back as well. So again, for the regular season, James Harden is that guy. Wherever he plays, he may take a step back, but he still would be in that top 10 shooting guard conversation. Number 7, I got Bradley Beal. I got him low. He is ranked as a shooting guard, but we know damn well he's a shooting guard. And I think ESPN did correct it and put him as a shooting guard. So shout out to them for that. And throughout this whole Grizzlies debauchery that I put myself in, one person that did reach out to me was Anthony Sane. Shout out to Sane. And one question that he kept on asking was, where do I see the Suns? Where do I see the Suns? They were top 4 seed last season. I think they can do it again. You're talking about a team that had Kevin Durant for only 8 games. Come on, dog. Bradley Beal is going to come and do what he needs to do. Even if it is 23, 24 points a game, that's cool. What y'all don't realize is Devin Booker ain't got to get double no more. Kevin Durant ain't got to get double no more. So he's going to come in. I think he's going to be motivated. He's going to play defense, and he's going to show us why he could be a top 5 shooting guard. But right now, I got him at 7. Number 6, hopefully I ain't pissing Grizz Nation off again. If I am, so can be it. But Desmond Bane. Y'all got to understand, I had Desmond Bane literally number 10 last season. We knew what he can become. We knew the potential that he has. And he's going literally in the right direction, which I love it. My thing is not to keep being a dead horse, but what kind of Desmond Bane are we going to see coming in this Grizz next season? Because he's going to be playing again with Marcus Smart. Everybody's giving him credit to be a point guard, but the Celtics end up getting Malcolm Brogdon for a reason. Y'all know what I'm saying? So how much of a point guard is he? How much of a playmaker will the Grizz have to be able to put Desmond Bane in places to succeed? So while his shooting may or may not go up, I do expect his assists to go up at least. He averaged 4.5 assists. I mean, and more assists are we expecting as well. So, last season he played 58 games as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gotta come together at some point for Desmond Bane. I think it will, but again, we just need to see it. So again, my bottom 10, Josh Giddey, Zach LaVine, James Harden, Bradley Beal, and Desmond Bane with honorable mention. Shout out to Jay Navy and CJ McCollum.
All right. Not mad at anything so far.
Interesting. Thank you. All right.
Not mad at anything so far. We'll get into everybody's parts separately, but I'm not right now. It appears to be okay. It appears to be okay. All right. My honorable mention. Right now, I got Jaylen Green, man. I think Jaylen Green, he's growing as a player. I think that Dylan Brooks being there and Fred VanVleet being there, Ali will help in a weird way.
Really?
I say in a weird way. I ain't saying in a way that makes sense.
Okay.
In a weird way, I feel like he's gonna be a bit more open offensively to do his thing. And this is what, year 3, if I'm not mistaken, for Jaylen Green. So now it's time for him to grow. I mean, you mentioned years ago. The game is slowing down, and he can score with the best of them, man. It's a matter of just figuring it all out, piecing it together. They have an actual coach that the players are going to respect down there now, because they didn't respect Steven Sides last year. They got Ime, who's a great coach, and we'll see if he's a good coach with young talent. But I think Jaylen Green, it's time for him to continue to grow. So I'll have him as an honorable mention. And number 10, this is where I got Jordan Poole, man. I think Jordan Poole is going to be a top 10 player this year. I think he's going to be a top 10 shooting guard this year. I think he'll be an all-star caliber player. Why is Toot leaning back? I don't know. We'll have a conversation. I mean, Jordan Poole averaged 20 points a game last year, essentially off the bench. He's going to go into Washington with Kyle Kuzma. No KP is there. I have to assume that he's going to continue to keep doing his thing with Washington. And I think that he's received a lot of slander, rightfully so to some extent. But Jordan Poole is going to have a good year. I think he'll be borderline all-star, as in he can be an all-star. He might not be, depending on how things go, but he has way more space, way more freedom to be him. And he is in Chocolate City. There's going to be a lot of women on the sidelines at those games. So you can imagine how he's going to play when there's women on the sidelines. So I got Jordan Poole at number 10. Number 9, I got this person number 9 because I'm not sure how things are going to go for the season. So doesn't speak of him, but more so his 10. That's DeJounte Murray. Him with Trae Young, I said it for a long time in this podcast, is not a good mix. If I were the Atlanta Hawks, I would commit to DeJounte Murray and make him my point guard. Right now, he's a shooting guard, obviously. Great defensive player, great offensive player, but I think that Trae Young and him, they're hindering each other to a certain extent. So he could be higher depending on if they figure out they want to trade Trae Young or if they want to keep him, whatever. Shout out to Rashard, man. He actually listened to the show. That's an Atlanta Hawks fan that's tuned in.
What up, Shrek?
He had a
What
quote.
up? That's my guy, man.
That I call Trey Young a pass first ball hawk. So I know he been listening. Shout out to Rashard, man.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, I got Murray right here at 9. Number 8, 2. I'm in lockstep with you, man. I got James Harden right here at 8. I think he's a great regular season player, but once the playoffs come, doesn't really show himself consistently. We don't know if he's going to play for Philadelphia or for the Clippers or for China. We don't know. So for that reason, I got him low. We know what he is right now, so I'm not going to explain too much about James Harden. Number 7, again, 2, lockstep, Bradley Beal. I think his numbers will drop, but that doesn't mean he's a bad player. I think it's because you got Booker, you got KD, so you don't need as much scoring from Bradley Beal. I am curious to see what they mean by him being a point guard. He's not a point guard by nature, but maybe he can learn on the fly. I mean, he's an all-star, all-NBA type player, so maybe he can play better. But him being at 7 is not him being a bad player, but more so he's going to have less of the load offensively, if that makes sense. And then at 6 is where I had Zach LaVine, kind of similar to Brad Beal, where you have Debo, DeMar DeRozan next to you, so you're kind of limited offensively. His play didn't really change that much. He's kind of stuck in stagnant place right now offensively. There are times where Zach LaVine is in the corner on offense, and he's not really allowed to be who Zach LaVine truly is. So if he gets freed up and goes somewhere else, he could easily go up because, I mean, he's a gifted offensive player. Don't play defense, but offensively, he can get 40 points easily by himself. So right now, I got him at number 6. So to recap, honorable mention, Jalen Green, Jordan Poole at 10, Dejounte Murray at 9, Harden at 8, Bradley Beal at 7, and Zach LaVine at 6.
Oh, the commentary after these 10 is going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. I've just been keeping track of how y'all saying stuff. I love it. For those that don't know, I just want to make sure my quick little snippet. I used more like depth charts last week and didn't use our Hollingers, whatever it is, for that. And so that's my fault. And so to make up for that, because I had James Harden last week on the point guard list, my honorable mentions this week will actually be point guards and not shooting guards. I also believe, before I continue where I'm saying, this point guards are dominating the league much more than shooting guards are. So the list to really compile 10 names on a point guard list based upon their position by that Hollingers is very, very different. That's why we just got to go to the all rings. But anyways, let me just give you some honorable mentions real quick. Point guards, just real quick, throw them out there. First and foremost, want to pay utmost respect to Kyrie Irving. Again, I'm not saying he's not a top 10 player. I'm just saying I didn't mention him last week. He definitely would have been on my list this week. But again, he's not listed as shooting guard. With this list, he's a point guard. So him first. Second is Tyrese Maxey. Again, listed as point guard. But on the depth roster, it's shooting guard because they got James Harden and then Tyrese Maxey there. But I do want to, again, give kudos to him. And they need to give him the keys to the city. And my last point guard, Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is either going to be with Miami or be somewhere else. But no matter what he does, he is going to make a hell of an impact on whatever team that may be. And so those are my 3 honorable mentions. Again, that doesn't go with our shooting guard list, but that's on me making my errors. I will not continue to make my errors.
Yeah, because I was wondering why you had Bill, and I'm like, Bill.
Now they've literally come out and said that Bill will be playing
Bill
point guard.
Yeah. No,
that's why I have him there. But like James Harden was on me.
Something like KD. KD is a small forward, but they get him as power forward. So I have him as power forward now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we clearly know it's on your list. Number 10. Hey, it's wild. You thought I wasn't going to be with you, Tuke, again? I'm with you. Josh Giddey averaged 17, 18, and 6 last year.
You know your hooping.
And that's only going to increase with the Rookie of the Year, Chet Holmgren, being around. SGA is going to do well, space out the floor more times than not. I got Josh Giddey at number 10. Here's where y'all going to hate me, and that's fine. And all the whole sports world is going to hate me. But I'm going to take a limb and go out on a limb on this one, man. He's on Team USA right now with FIBA. I got Austin Reeves. I think Austin Reeves will have a transitional year this upcoming year. He's going to learn a lot from being with Team USA. At some point, LeBron's going to have to give up the fiddle more and more. they're already telling Austin, even like going into the playoffs last season, that he will literally be having the keys to the city. If you looked at what they did in the playoffs, it's not the same person that you saw in the regular season. He increased his points, assists, and rebounds just in the playoffs themselves. And if Austin Reeves doesn't do that, then I don't know how far the Lakers actually proceed, let alone they got swept anyway.
So he get most improved player of the game of the year.
He's a candidate. Definitely a candidate. Number 8. I had him on my list last year. I was talked about. Nobody has him on the list. I know y'all not going to have him on your top 5. But if I expect what I expect from the Warriors, then Klay Thompson's got to be on my list.
Speak for yourself there, buddy. Come on now. Just
Oh, okay. Well, I'll pump the brakes. Let me pump the brakes. 22
You.
with 41% shooting from 3. And that's only going to get more opportunities because there is no more of the pool. And there'll be Chris Paul around. So the spacing is going to be a lot different. Klay Thompson will be back to where it needs to be, regardless of offense or defense. Number 7, I'm with Savage on this one. Well, not who you have at number 7, but I have DeJounte Murray here. I agree. Trae Young needs to go. But DeJounte Murray, 25-6. He increased his points and rebounds during the playoffs, which was needed against the 76ers team, even when he had to sit out that one game. But his heart and fire, what he provides for them, is what the Hawks truly need. And you can get a lot back. Hear me. You can get a lot back for Trae Young, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the podcast, where he may be able to go. We can get some collateral for that. And number 6, I do have Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, 25, 4-4. You talk about a walking bucket, Savage, you're right. A walking bucket. Shot 49, 38, and 85. I mean, that's close to 50, 40, 90. And that's with him still having to give the keys up to DeMar at times. But imagine what he can do as the true, second or third fiddle for a true contender. The Bulls aren't contenders. They're just crying Bulls right now, raging Bulls. It doesn't even matter. But I don't see that. And someone needs to trade for Zach LaVine sooner than later. So, again, my honorable mentions, much respect to these players: Kyrie Irving, Tyrese Maxey, Tyler Hero. Number 10, Josh Giddey. 9, him, Austin Reeves. 8, Klay Thompson. 7, DeJounte Murray. And 6, Zach LaVine.
Him, Austin Reeves.
I'm not even mad at that, man. I'm not even mad at Austin Reeves. So I know last season I was the Austin Reeves slanderer, if that's even a word. Slanderer, if that's even a word. But I'm seeing Austin Reeves in the Olympics. The FIBA, and I respect Austin Reeves. I never hated Austin Reeves. I thought that he wasn't a $100 million player.
Okay,
but I am not mad at him being a top 10 shooting guard for you, Sheedy, because the man, at some point he could have fallen off. Like at some point, like Jeremy Lin had his 2 weeks of success. This man is consistent. Like that's in the first round, second round, West Conference Finals, FIBA. The man is hooping. I gotta respect him. He's hooping.
Yeah. So you kind of like a love for him. For love for Austin?
I don't know about it.
He'll love him if he ain't play with LeBron.
He would. He would have jungle fever if you would.
Oh yeah.
But I do want to point out Josh Giddey. He's not on my list, but I respect Josh Giddey. Like Josh Giddey, I wanted the Grizzlies to draft him during that draft. I think they got Zaire, if I'm not mistaken, that draft. I wanted him to go straight up and get Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey was on this.
Man, you talking about a secondary ball handler? Really, he's actually the primary ball handler for the Thunder because technically SGA is a shooting guard and Giddey's a point guard, but based on the positions, there's actually swapped. So I'm not mad that he had a 30-point triple-double, I think, towards the end of the season, man. Dude was hooping. Dude can hoop. He's like a lanky, and I like tall guards, man. Like tall point guards. I'm always on board with that. So I'm not mad at Josh Giddey at 10, and I definitely expect him to have a good year this year with SGA.
For reference, bro, for all the listeners, just imagine Tracy McGrady running point.
Basically, yeah.
height wise.
Yeah.
Now the athleticism, but Giddey, he's still scoring 30. Scoring 30 ain't easy in the NBA, ladies and gentlemen. To score 30 is you hooping. So, but yeah, I think it's like I said, everybody's bottom 5 is okay. It's nothing crazy right now. Nothing crazy.
It shouldn't be too crazy.
I don't think top 5 would get crazy. I think the bottom 5 is the craziest.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
think
And that's
top
how I was
five.
telling Savage. I had trouble with my bottom five more than my top five.
Yeah, the top five was like, okay, who do you put here, here, here? And speaking of which, too, what you got?
Yeah, what you got?
So I actually got Klay Thompson as the top 5 shooting guard this season. But everything you just said, but this is where my battle was honestly between him and Desmond Bane, which is why I got Desmond Bane at 6. But I had to go and literally look at Klay Thompson numbers, and I really want y'all to put things in perspective. Even with a team with Jordan Poole and all that the catastrophe that was going on, Klay Thompson averaged 22 a game, which was the most that he's had since 2016 to 2017. He shot 10 threes a game.
And he had a rough start when he came back, too. So he
rough start. And I'm happy you brought that up because even after his rough start, his percentage was still higher than Desmond Bane's. Mm-hmm. That you got to put that for somewhere. He played 69 games last season. And now coming into this upcoming season, you got the point guard with Hall of Fame Dahmer. He hit 2 more threes a game. He gonna be at 28 points a game. Come on, dog. Klay Thompson, huh?
And you don't get those opportunities.
He gonna get them. He gonna get them way more than. Welcome back, Klay Thompson. Let's go get another championship. Let me see. Number 4, I got Donovan Mitchell. We talk about the Cavs a little bit last year, and honestly, coming into this season, I was kind of like honestly spot on about. We actually, because we talked about the episode literally right when the trade happened, which God works in good, divine, mysterious ways. And like he came into last season, I said there'll be a top 4 seed. They were a top 4 seed. He had career high numbers with scoring. He averaged 28 points a game. Do I expect that continue? Absolutely. Why not? But one thing that I want to do, even though this is a regular season list, one thing that they did have in the playoffs was their chemistry issues with him and Garland. I think they could play together because I've seen them do it in the regular season, but it's just when the time is, we know playoff basketball is different than regular season basketball. I think that's, if they can get their chemistry down, it'll help, but they also got to find out who going to go at the small forward because according to ESPN right now, they got Max Strus starting at small forward. So you tell them you got 3 guards, 1, 2, and 3 that's under 6'5", and then you got Mobley and the big guy. Help me out with that for y'all. I'm slow.
Evan Mobley,
Jared Allen. I'm sorry, Jared Allen. You a balling. I love you. My bad. Just had a dumb moment. So now you got them 2. It's gonna hurt, but like I said, Donovan Mitchell, we talking shooting guards, average 28 a game. I expect him to do the same thing. I expect at least another 60-point game this season. Number three, his money green and his last name Brown. Ski. Yeah, I had to do it, man. Shout out to Jaylen Brown. I had to do it. Shout out to safety. But man, Jaylen Brown, man, y'all know I'm a big fan of his, huge fan of his. One of the best, I think the best 2-way shooting guard that we have in the league right now. He was top 3 in shooting guard. Him and Mitchell were actually tied in field goals made last season. So that should show you where the scoring is. But he can score more if he get his 3-point percentage up. I think he was like at 33.5% last season shooting from 3, which ain't good, but it ain't bad either. Of course, if you can increase that, of course, your averages will go up. Of course, everybody talking about how he can't dribble left-handed, and of course, that is a weakness in his game. But you take that away, what can he do? You know what I'm saying? On the Celtics team that I believe, like we talked about it last season, who we would start between Jaylen Brown and Tatum. I'll go with Brown. And even though I think Tatum's gonna get his bag too, right now we are looking at and talking about the highest paid player in the NBA. So shout out to Jaylen Brown. Number 2. Number 2 is actually the guy I have winning MVP this season. Gun to the head, if you would have asked me right now who I got winning MVP, it is Anthony Ant-Man to me, Edwards. Last year he averaged 24 a game, and I expect those to go up. But I want people to understand, we talked about him a little bit more, but I'm going to bring it back. We're looking at somebody who's literally becoming a superstar right in front of our eyes, on and off the court. He's been in a couple movies already, and I think those opportunities are going to continue to come. I think when you talk about the basketball court, what he's learning from Steve Kerr and this whole Team USA experience is that I can literally be the best scorer in the NBA because I'm looking at myself and I'm the best scorer in the world right now. That's what the FIBA player is about. Who's the best in the world? Of course, that's what Olympics is about as well. But right now, for the young players to lead us into the NBA, I think that the NBA could use an Anthony Edwards to continue to market themselves around, just like how they did Michael Jordan. So, you know, he talked, even when he talked to Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr talked about him and said, hey, how you feel about coming off the bench? You know what I'm saying? When we had Kobe, we had D-Wade coming off the bench. Damn, coach, we ain't got no Kobe on this team. So he literally looking on this team of, you know, future stars in the NBA and like, nah, this my time. And I think he's going to continue to carry that mentality into next season and stop playing with the Timberwolves. They're in the freaking playoffs. And number one, of course, it's his award until literally he lose it or, you know, Ant-Man win MVP. And that player is Devin Booker. Again, this is his award to lose. He was second in scoring last season. Will his numbers drop playing with Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant? I honestly don't think so. I think they both acknowledge to some point. I know for sure Kevin Durant that, yo, this is your team. Do what you got to do. And we saw that in the playoffs last season. They beat the Nuggets twice, you know, and they were able to get to the second round. Kevin Durant only played again 8 games last season. So you're coming into that chemistry part as well. And again, Bradley Beal going to come and show why he's a top 5, top 10 shooting guard. But still, Devin Booker's not going to get doubled. So you got to worry about that. He can easily average 30 points a game. But even with his game, he going to still be like, I'm going to get others involved again because he was playing point guard in the playoffs most of the time. He was still averaging 6, 7 assists a game. So we saw that factor into his game, which nobody, I don't think, saw. So I think they're going to continue. We're looking at 3 unselfish superstars right now. People like it's one basketball. I've seen the Warriors win with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant. I've seen all of them have their moments and be happy when other people had their moments. So Devin Booker, number 1 on my list. So again, top 5, excuse me. Klay Thompson, welcome back, Klay. Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, Ant-Man, and Devin Booker.
Shout out to Candy in the comments. She said, I was counting on y'all to be late. We were actually on time. So, you know.
On time? Yeah, early and ready to go.
We were on time, Candy. So I got to, you know.
Oh, wow.
So I had to, you know, acknowledge that. Number 5 for me. I think because of Ja Morant's suspension, I think Desmond Bane is going to step up like he did last year when we were without Ja Morant for certain stretches of the season. Desmond Bane was on a tear that first part of the season for the big toe injury. He was averaging like 25, 26 a game, was shooting the lights out. Eventually, it did come down to earth when he came back from the injury, but he's improved every year. I have no reason to believe otherwise that he won't improve this year. They want him to improve his ball handling his second year. He improved his ball handling. Now he's a secondary point guard. They want to increase his defense. Defense got better. They want him to rebound more. He rebounds more. And we know the man got a sniper for a right hand. So I'm not expecting anything worse from Desmond Bane this year. I expect him to be a top 5 shooting guard. I think he will be. Number 4, this is where I get Jaylen Brown, $300 million man with no left hand. He still can put up points with no left hand, which is the reason why I think that he's
Leave
still
his hands alone, man. Goodness gracious.
You said what?
Leave his hands alone.
I mean, it is what I literally had a highlight package of him struggling with his left hand. Like, so I have to acknowledge that. But I've seen him, you know, go for 40, 50 points. He can do it. He just needs to refine that part of his game. And he could very easily be top 3, top 2 if he can figure that out. But until then, I got it at number 4. Number 3, that's where I got Spider Mitchell. 70 points in the game last season. We've seen him perform in the playoffs, but I think when he's with Utah and he was with the Cavaliers, I think it's a matter of like what's around him. Took, you mentioned Garland and Spider. I said last week, I don't know if Garland and Spider can fit together long term based on the fact that the game does slow down in the playoffs and the ball kind of sticks. And Donovan Mitchell, despite scoring 28 points a game, he's an efficient scorer. Like his size, he's 6'2" on a good day, but the man, he can score with the best of them. So personally, I want the ball in his hands when it comes down to scoring on a one possession game, 2 minutes left in the game. I'd rather have it in Spider's hands than Darius Garland. So do the Cavaliers figure that out? I'm not sure, but for me personally, that's what I want with the ball in his hands. At number 2, this is where I have Ant-Man. I don't know about MVP too. That was kind of a stretch. Not also a stretch, but I gotta see it to believe it with him. But we see him in the FIBA, man, 34 points in a FIBA game. That's crazy. Like that's like the equivalent of like 50 points in an NBA game. And man's gonna continue to improve. I was absolutely wrong about Anthony Edwards coming out of college. I thought that he didn't love basketball. I thought he wouldn't be good enough. But Anthony Edwards is literally playing the sport that he loves, number 2. He's a football player. He wants to play football more than basketball. But the fact that he's dominating in basketball says a lot about who he is as a person and as a player. Sheedy mentioned how he's kind of matured, and we've definitely seen that even in his interviews before. He's talking about eating hot chips every day. I think Kat had got on him about that. And so I don't know if he changed his appetite, but his attitude has changed for sure. So I got Ant-Man number 2. And number 1, Devin Booker. I mean, until otherwise proven, Devin Booker's the best shooting guard in the league. I said it for years now. He is literally Kobe's equivalent as far as like the post moves and the footwork in the post. Devin Booker is that dude. It can only get better adding Bradley Beal. I got to see it on the court to believe it, but all 3 of them are unselfish, as Tuke mentioned. And Devin Booker I think he could be your MVP more than anything else than that, man. I think he can mess around and get the MVP because, I mean, we've seen him play in the bubble. We've seen him play in the finals. We've seen him play even last year, having to go up against the NBA champions and the Denver Nuggets. Booker's number 1 until somebody else takes it from him, literally. So to recap, Desmond Bane at 5, number 4, Jaylen Brown, 3, Spider Mitchell, 2, Ant-Man, and number 1, Devin Booker.
All right. Number 5, I'm with you, Savage. Let's go Desmond Bane. I think with Ja being out 25 games to start the season, and even when Ja comes back, you still going to lean on his shooter. He's going to be there. He's going to be available in the corner. And what you mentioned earlier, everything that's been asked of him to increase or do better with, Desmond Bane has done, and not said anything. And so I'm gonna give Desmond Bane 5. 4, to me, is going to be Jaylen Brown as well. So it's almost like a copycat list from you, Savage. The issue that I have with Jaylen Brown is, yes, of course, the left hand. Okay, we get that part. And how many teams are going to key on this upcoming season? And how will not only he get over it, because it's a mental thing right now too, but how will the coaching staff and his other players support him? So I'm saying he's 4 now, but he has the ability to drop to me, because if he can't mentally get over that and he doesn't have the support of his teammates, he's not going to be a top 5 shooting guard for me. That's my list. I'm going to skip. I think we all agree that number 1 is Devin Booker. It's nothing to really discuss. That man shot over 70+% in the playoffs against the Nuggets. Like, I thought it happened like one game. I was like, shot 80%. I was like, oh, that's no way he does this again. Next game, I think he shot like 76%. Equivalent to Kobe. I love that. Footwork, post moves, everything. I really love that. Here was my decision. It's like a 2A, 2B. I guess somebody has to be number 3, right? For me, I'm going to take Donovan Mitchell as 2A or number 2. My reason behind taking Donovan Mitchell at 2 and not Anthony Edwards, because Anthony Edwards clearly will fall to 3 in my list. Donovan Mitchell is going to be pissed off for what just happened to him in this last playoffs against the Knicks. He's going to demand, you said 160 game, he might have a few of these 50s and a couple more of these 40s. And he's going to have the opportunity to space out the floor more because they have a Max Strus that has been known to be a sniper. So you can't just double off of him. You know what I'm saying? The other Okoro, whoever they had at small forward, you can't double off that anymore. You have to let whoever guard Donovan. You can't have, other people help. So I think Donovan Mitchell is on a wrecking course to prove that they're better. Because let's be honest, the Cavs stunk up the court in the playoffs. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. Tom Thibodeau had a great game plan, and for JB Bickerstaff and company to not come up with anything after 5 games, and I mean dismal games, I think Donovan Mitchell will reassert himself, and that's why I have Anthony Edwards at 3. So it's really a 2A, 2B to me. Anthony Edwards is coming off by far, I believe, one of the better times of anyone coming off of FIBA besides, Carmelo and others that have played well. The only thing that's going to hurt Anthony Edwards is the same thing that hurt Donovan Mitchell. Rudy Gobert. That's it. That's it. Get Rudy Gobert to clear out the space. I mean, what he had, like 8 points and a foul out. He played terrible.
Hey, speaking of, France just got eliminated from FIBA. Like what?
They got 3 bigs.
They just got eliminated. Yep.
Oh wait, they got 3 bigs. Is that what you said?
What I'm worried about with Rudy Gobert is the fact that everybody's talking about how the COVID numbers are going up. So if anything, I need him to kind of isolate himself for a minute and then just kind of, I'm happy they lost. Go sit in a fucking bubble somewhere else around away from the world and come back. We saw what he did the first time. Touch all them goddamn mics like, come on, dog. You shut the whole NBA down.
We'll need that. We need our podcast to continue. We need something to talk about. All right. So the people that we didn't mention before we get into, I guess, the discussion. Do you have a discussion? I feel like we all had a general same top 5. Like,
I got a lot to talk about.
Okay. we didn't mention somebody like Anthony Simons, who True. I think that Portland has kind of soured on top of like his injuries and just lack of defense. I think it just kind of soured on him. You know, he did get paid a year or so ago. Jaylen Williams from Oklahoma City, who's a shooting guard. He's kind of a wing type player, but he does play well. I mean, again, Thunder, it's time to hoop. Y'all got too many good players, too many good young players. Something got to give.
It's time.
Who else did we not mention? I think there's everybody that's like worth noting. Unless I missed somebody. Nah, I missed somebody. So, but yeah, what you got to?
You didn't have Klay Thompson on your list, did you?
I did not have Klay Thompson on my list. Nope.
That's the second year in a row. He on
second year.
What is wrong with you?
What you mean?
Not even 10?
No, Jordan Poole is my 10.
So
go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's my thing about Jordan Poole, right? Because he may put up the numbers, but it's literally gonna be the same numbers wise as Bradley Beal was doing. So as the team that we call the Mizzards continue to be mid, because did they get better? No. Did they get worse? I'm pretty sure they did, because I rather have Bradley Beal than Jordan Poole. What? You got Jordan Poole having a better. So even if he do, hypothetically, let's say he do what, 25 a game you expecting?
Yeah, about 25, yeah.
So if when Klay Thompson average more than Jordan Poole next season,
he won't. No.
We need you to make an apology to Klay Thompson.
For what?
When Klay Thompson averages more points than Jordan Poole next season, I need you to come back because you don't have him in your top 10, period. That's disrespectful for somebody that me and Shitty said he's gonna have a better season. He shot 10 threes in a game. Who else shoot more than him?
Jordan Poole is going to be able to score in more ways than Klay Thompson. So that's why I think that he's going to average more points than Klay Thompson. Thompson's going to have games where he can't make a shot. He's going to have games where he goes for like 30. So I think that's going to balance out. Whereas Jordan Poole's going to have way more volume with scoring than Klay Thompson is. And I think that's going to actually improve the Wizards. So, because I have Jordan Poole as a borderline all-star this year. I think he probably can be close to.
In order for them to do that, you saying the Wizards are going to have to make the playoffs? Or at least win playoff contention. No, that's what you're saying, because we've been on this podcast saying literally for Bradley Beal specifically, for a guy that averaged, or let's say Trae Young. Trae Young averaged literally 30 and 10 last season and wasn't an all-star.
I had him top 10 though. I had him top 10.
That's cool, but he wasn't an all-star. So you saying Trae Young, who may average still 30 and 10, Jordan Poole averaging 25 on a slow ass team, and we always said that he won't get voted in by anybody because he played for a slow ass team.
But I think
there's multiple players.
There's a story that's tied to Jordan Poole with like, okay, he's away from Draymond Green, so this is going to be looked at more favorable for next season. So that's part of the All-Star. That's why I'm not big on All-Star like narratives. I'm more onto All NBA, but I do think
he won't make because he's on a slow ass team.
You said what?
I said, which he won't make because he's on a slow ass team.
Jordan Poole, look,
he's gonna be back in the top 5 in the lottery.
I'm telling you. Why am I thank you, Candy. I like how he's complaining for Klay. Sevens will apologize for y'all. Thank you, Candy. I'm not apologizing for Klay Thompson. No, I'm not doing that. So Jordan Poole is going to have a better statistical year than Klay Thompson. Will the Warriors be better than the Wizards? Absolutely. Klay
is going to have better numbers than the Warriors.
Jordan Poole is on a mission. I told y'all, the man is in Chocolate City. There's going to be some fine black women on that sideline, and the man is going to hoop. Go ahead, Sheedy.
statistically speaking, I agree with what Savage is saying in regards to Jordan Poole will have better stats, points per game, than Klay Thompson, because Jordan Poole gonna have to play every minute. Klay Thompson's not gonna have to.
Yep.
And then the theory of the Warriors actually continue.
Y'all know teams key up on the star players, right?
What's that?
Y'all know teams defensively key up on star players, right?
Jordan Poole's still gonna hoop. He's still gonna hoop.
Yeah, he's still gonna throw up shots. Like, that's not gonna stop. And what I'm saying to you is, Jordan Poole will average north of 25. Klay Thompson can be right around 22 to 23, but in the scheme of it all, Thompson's numbers, I believe, percentage-wise, will be better than Klay Thompson. He's gonna have a better field goal percentage, better three-point percentage, and whatever like that. Yes. Again, this goes back to what my theory about your Warriors. We're going back to the 16-17 season, whatever that season was, where some of y'all starters didn't play in the fourth quarter. So if some of y'all starters don't play half the fourth quarter or part of the fourth quarter, Jordan Poole going to be playing every quarter, every second. He's not going to want to come off.
He's going to be starting finally.
Yes. He's not coming off. He's not doing none of, he's not sitting on the bench until the game is over. And so, yes, I think he's going to score more points, but are they going to be efficient points? No.
And I think the way that I'm comparing it, it's going to be like a Tyrese Halliburton effect, where Halliburton was hooping in Sacramento, but he didn't really get unlocked until he got to Indiana, who, by the way, wasn't a great team when he got there. They still aren't a great team right now, but he still made an All-Star game despite what happened with the Pacers being bad. So I think it's going to be a similar effect with Jordan Poole. Am I saying the Wizards are going to be contenders? Hell no. But I think that the story mixed with the increasing stats, because Jordan Poole has literally increasing stats every single year. I think that Jordan Poole is going to be, I say, fringe, borderline All-Star. That's too disappeared on this. I don't know where he at, but good. That's the universe fixing him. He's tripping for like the past 2 weeks, man. So while Took is getting his internet together.
Oh wait.
I don't know if you got nothing else, CD, before we move on.
Nah, I appreciate the praise about Josh Giddey. That man is literally a walking triple-double, and there's no reason why I couldn't see him in this top 10 list. I mean, I know he wasn't in yours, but again, you got to respect back.
I respect you
about that. And I'm just in agreement with you about the Desmond Bane thing, because if the Grizzlies expecting, and again, I'm one of the ones that's doubling down and saying they probably won't make the playoffs, but if they're to expect to make anything, Desmond Bane doesn't need to make another ascension to himself. And I mean, who's Marcus Smart going to be the point guard or D Rose? You know what? We never really asked. So, regardless of that, did nobody?
Marcus Smart.
Okay, so Marcus Smart's not a top 10 shooting guard.
Nah. I mean, he's so. I'm glad you mentioned that, because what's really been the case with a lot of the shooting guards in recent memory, because like I said, the point guards are dominating the offense, and then you get like your wing players, small forwards. And then occasionally you get an Embiid or what up, Aiden? You get an Embiid, or you'll get a Nikola Jokic. Welcome back to.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. I don't know what that was.
You good. But yeah, the point guards are dominating, or the wings, or the centers, where the shooting guards, and in some cases the power forwards are more your specialists. So your defensive players, your shooters, your slashers, your rebounders, or whatever. And so that's why I feel like it was kind of difficult to figure out who is going to be where. It depends on what you value as an analyst. So that's what it is. Took any last comments as Candy been getting on you?
Karma.
You got struck down by lightning.
You lighting you up today, brother.
But yeah, I'm getting last word too before we move on.
Nah, man, y'all got it. But we're gonna have to bet some on that, bro. Because like I don't think y'all gotta understand. I've literally watched Jordan Poole from his rookie year to what he is now. Is he a baller? Absolutely. He's smooth as hell. But you gotta think he gonna have games where he gonna go 1 for 13, and he gonna have games where he gonna actually have a good night. Which one am I willing to bet is gonna happen more? Is he gonna have less than this 25 points a game? So again, I am saying, even though the Warriors may sit Klay Thompson in the fourth, you got to think, in order for him to be sat in the fourth, he had to have done something, right? Whether as Jordan Poole, he's gonna be literally teams gonna be like, all right, Jordan Poole, show me what's up. And he's not gonna accept that challenge most nights. I've seen it. Yes, he's gonna be on a better team. Yes, he's gonna shoot more, but that's gonna give him opportunity to not make much as well either. So again, I'm saying Klay Thompson's gonna have more points than Jordan Poole. If I'm wrong, I eat my words for sure. But I can't see that next season. Let me see. The one other thing that I had. Touche on the Jaylen Green thing. I definitely forgot he was a third-year guard. My thing is, I don't know how they translate to shooting guards. You know what I'm saying? The whole 30-year point guard thing. Because again, Josh Giddey is a third-year point guard as well, if we want to say that. So I think I need to do like a further research on that one. So, but no, kudos to Jaylen Green. I definitely would have had him, man. Zach LaVine, y'all had him a lot higher than I did. And I kind of wanted to know why, because even from last season, we talked about, even though he's a great player and he put up these numbers, he's not even the closer on his own team. And y'all said it, moments ago, like he just some player that just stand in the corner when he don't have the ball. But y'all got him top 4.
Only because he still scores whenever it's time to go to work. I think that he has to. Chicago got to figure out what they're gonna do with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, because they are kind of redundant in terms of like their play style. Zach LaVine is a way better 3-point shooter, and DeMar DeRozan is a way more. I mean, he's the best mid-range scorer in the game. We ain't gonna argue with that. I'm personally banking on Zach LaVine to not be in Chicago by the end of the year, and he'll be somewhere with a contender. I don't know who that contender will be, but I think we're gonna see who Zach LaVine is once he is on a better team, beside a more elite player than DeMar DeRozan. So I'm banking on that happening at some point, because at some point they gotta stop doing this. It's been like 3 years of this. Like, all right, y'all, we doing the same thing over and over again. Something gotta change, and they're not gonna trade DeMar DeRozan, because I don't think nobody's gonna want to trade for DeMar DeRozan. Rather have Zach LaVine, who'd probably be a better option.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll add about Zach LaVine's game is he's a slasher as well, which contaminates the paint that DeMar DeRozan is actually standing in and waiting for the ball to happen to.
Yep, and Vucevic too.
Yeah. They got a lot of stuff to deal with in Chicago. Tradable pieces. This is my Toronto Raptors from last season, who still have Pascal Siakam, ladies and gentlemen, of the jury. Somebody needs to go and get him and put him on a list somewhere. Not a list, put on a contender somewhere. The man averaged 25-5. He definitely averaged over 25-5 last season. But Zach LaVine's almost shooting 50-40-90. You can't really ignore those, along being 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Again, as I said when I mentioned him, he is going to be great as a second or third fiddle on a contender.
Yep.
It's just, it sucks because he's the alpha male for Chicago, and sometimes it's DeMar, sometimes it's him, and I feel like they got to, again, work that out, but just give DeMar the keys at this point.
Cool. I think that's everything I have outside the blasphemy Savage just said, but whatever.
Blasphemy. No, we're not doing. You know what? I'm moving on. I'm not even gonna get into what happened last week. We can wrap it up right here. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he had some comments in an article that I read, and I will read them right now. Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis said he does not plan to sign a contract extension when he becomes eligible next month, and that he won't sign one until he is comfortable knowing the organization will continue to compete for a championship. In an interview with the New York Times, the two-time MVP said, numbers-wise, it doesn't make sense, and that the organization still has something to prove before he potentially signs an extension next summer. Next summer, it will make more sense for both parties. Even then, I don't know. I would not be the best version of myself if I don't know that everybody's on the same page. Everybody's going for a championship. Everybody's going to sacrifice time away from their family like I do. And if I don't feel that, I am not signing. So, this your favorite player, man. Giannis.
First, you disrespect me with opening the pool back up when it should be closed. Goddamn mold in the water. You're going to open the pool back up. It is what it is, bro. Giannis about to roll.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He gone.
Yeah, that is my way. That is my way of saying I love y'all, but y'all ain't enough for me. He's getting tired of losing to Miami. He's getting tired of the disrespect, quote unquote, that he's been getting, on this Bucks team. we've said that this Bucks team is a lot older now, and I don't want to say a lot because they just won the championship years. But basketball, counting your other two best players, telling you I'm old as hell. Their bodies are literally like breaking down right before our eyes, and those players are Drew Holiday and Middleton. So if I can't win with them, and y'all aren't able to, replace them with people that I can win a championship with, I'm out this thing. I'm out. So the writing's on the wall. He still ain't say last season was a failure, but that's neither here and there. But the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. He won't be a Buck too much longer. And I told y'all, even when we started, when we literally started, let's be real, it was a lot. Y'all clown me for saying, hey, he gonna be a Warrior.
You did say that. Wow, what a fool! What a fool, bro! Wow.
Warriors come out and play. That's all I'm gonna. That's all I'm gonna say.
Is that from the iHeartRadio days?
That was from the iHeartRadio day. Absolutely, it was from the iHeartRadio day. So people that don't believe we're a high-rated podcast, right. we have iHeartRated days as well.
All right, let's talk about the Bucks. Milwaukee, you have to stop signing brothers because they're in the league. That's the first problem. Giving up roster spots is an issue.
But they're a family organization.
That's the problem.
Holidays,
Holidays,
Lopez,
Holidays,
all of them. Everybody getting signed. But also, so speaking about the Bucks, Giannis, you don't feel like this is within that other players are not like you in your mindset. Then how do you, as a leader, help change their mindset as well? I understand the complaining, but what are you doing to make sure, hey, I rented out this gym, let's go. I'm buying, everybody, let's all meet up here. Let's go 5-on-5 for a little bit. Or a leader, you have millions and millions of dollars. If that's how you felt, then get your team together and let's talk about it. You airing it out for public display. I hear you. Some other players should do this as well. Yes. But at least try to get your team together before you make an announcement like this to see where their heads truly are at. They just got done getting their asses whooped by the Heat. And you weren't really there. If we're going to be honest, Giannis, you showed up.
Yeah, because that's the only guy they won, right? When he didn't play?
When he didn't play is the game that they won. And Joe Ingles was going off. He's not with them no more. He's with the Magic. And like, they just got done paying one of the Lopez brothers, like damn near almost $20 million a season.
35 years old.
35. And some knees. I don't know how long y'all.
I think 34, 35.
It doesn't even matter. Him and his brother looking like a damn clown. Sideshow Bob. But this issue I had, let me not talk about the issue anymore. Let me talk about the platform that he used. He came out and said, you either get a team together or I'm not signing a contract. Damian Lillard, this would have been good for you to do and actually not sign it until you actually saw what they had. James Harden and other players that want to be out of where you're at. The power is in your hands before you sign the contract. Once you sign the contract, you've lost the power because the power now goes with the ownership.
Agreed.
So, again, let me restate. Whatever 15 players you got, Giannis, well, let's say 13 because it's you and your brother's 2 roster spots for sure. So the other 13 of y'all, it's not like what y'all doing in FIBA. I mean, Greece is doing all right. Bobby Portis is doing what he needed to be doing. But at some point, just come together. Just have a team meeting. What's everyone else doing? And I feel him with that energy. But damn, be a leader for once in your life and take control of this and put them all together and let's go hoop. Michael Jordan brought everyone to Space Jam and was still hooping after the credits.
Lil Bow Wow brought everybody to the NBA and to the movie screen too, but
I mean,
wow.
Like Mike, but that's it. That's all I got for now.
My thing is, Sheedy, you expecting somebody to not you, but you saying that Giannis expects something for other people that he can't expect for himself because he has no bag himself. So what is he working on when he at the gym himself?
Hey, let me tell you,
he just Instagramming pictures, maybe practicing on a free throw or two.
No, it's 10.
Maybe you need to look at yourself in the mirror there, buddy.
Hey, Milwaukee, we just talked about a team that needs to get rid of one of their guards. You need to be on the phone to get Trae Young up there somehow, some way, because and no one's going to sign for that team. You're going to have to make a trade, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
All I gotta say about this, he will not be the first Milwaukee Bucks great to go play for the Lakers. That's all I'm gonna say. Do not.
So y'all got him going to California regardless.
Do not sleep on the fact that
Going
AD did sign $60 million a year. If you look at Giannis's contract, that the year before that player option, the player option year is 51. And then before that, I think it's like 45 or 47, something like that. Do not sleep on a sign and trade for AD going to Milwaukee and Giannis goes to the Lakers. Because I think Giannis wants to play for the Lakers at some point. I think that's what he wants. Not saying I'll be excited about that. I'm just saying.
So you think he'd rather play with a 42, 43-year-old LeBron versus the greatest team right now? Yeah. All right.
But for real though, I'm bullshitting with that. But for real though,
no, that's something Giannis, about for sure. That is funny.
But yeah, Giannis, he gone. I don't know where he going, but he gone because otherwise, right now the Bucks have like negative $51 million in cap space. They ain't got no cap space.
Got negative 51.
Negative 51 million. They have. I mean, you just pay. You pay Giannis. You pay Middleton. You pay Drew. You paying Brook Lopez. Like you don't have any money, and nobody wants to go to Milwaukee. So, what moves can you make to facilitate a trade for Milwaukee? We talked about this on the podcast a couple months ago in the Bucks offseason outlook. For those who don't think, we talk about actual basketball here. Milwaukee is a small market. Like most small market teams, you struggle to attract elite players. Giannis is an elite player. He wants to win. And for him to come out just 2 years removed from an NBA title and say this, like you ain't even giving them a chance to do anything. That lets me know, like, hey, y'all, I am leaving. Y'all should prepare when I leave within 2 years. That's what I see from Giannis. He being nice, he being respectful. He's way better than Dame Lillard because Dame Lillard like, look, I want to get traded right now. And y'all ain't got no way of doing it. So Milwaukee, if you listen to me, get ready. Trade him after this year, compete, see what you can do. But after this season, you have that year remaining and you got that player option. Trade him while you can and get the most you can up out of him because he going to be gone after 24, 25. That's what I think. I think he gone regardless.
And that's
how many brothers Giannis got?
He got 3 brothers, I think. I think 3.
No, he got 4. I'm looking it up. He got 4 brothers.
Are they all tall?
Everybody taller than me. He got 4 brothers
and somebody else.
All of them 9 names I can't pronounce and ain't even finna disrespect them. I'm trying to pronounce. My thing is they need to be trying to give them all contracts or B shares of the Milwaukee Bucks in order for them to keep Giannis at this point. Because why else they coming to see me? Why else you coming to watch the Milwaukee Bucks play?
I wasn't. Not before Giannis.
So you need to have a whole starting 5 of me and my brothers.
Bro, ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Whoa. Hold on. Before we go, does this also not backpedal your statements, Giannis, of what you said about staying here, winning the championship?
He did say that.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I remember how much he gave kudos and respect to Tim Duncan and when D-Wade won his first one. And
this makes my point. Dame, get the best offer for Dame Lillard. Do not give in to these players because I understand both sides. You in it for the best for you. You in it for the best of the organization. If I am Portland, I am not trading you to Miami because Miami ain't got shit that I want.
It's different. It's different though.
No.
It's different. It's different. Like you gotta understand. Dame Lillard can actually rap and use his words correctly. Giannis went on live TV and said, "Winner, chicken dinner." You talking about 2 different players, bro. 2 completely different situations that's trying to happen. Nah.
Whatever. He gone, y'all. He gone. Just let y'all know he gone. All right, before we get out of here, I do want to shout out Jaylen Brown. He is playing in the Big 3 All-Star game. I want to shout him out for supporting Ice Cube, who may or may not be controversial, but shout out to a black man helping another black man because despite what you think about Ice Cube, the Big Three is a business that is a positive one, I would say, as a basketball lover. So shout out to Jaylen Brown for doing that. I will check him out when he does play. I hope he does play well and not get ripped by his left hand.
Savage, I think the magnitude of that is a lot bigger than what it is because he's literally the highest paid player in the NBA.
Yep.
And we've seen interviews on Cube calling out the NBA saying that they're not supportive of what he's trying to do, on and off the court, no pun intended. So for Jaylen Brown to say, I'm the highest paid player in the league and I'm going to risk everything that I got to help Cube, that's big, bro. Like that's big to me. So
I've long said that 3-on-3 basketball can be profitable. Like it can be a big thing because they literally have it at the Olympics. So I don't understand why the NBA doesn't have like a subsidiary of like the NBA to be 3-on-3 for those who may not be as
because
good.
I didn't think of it first.
Yeah, I don't understand that because I feel like it's profitable. You literally can have a 3-on-3 in the All-Star game. I would watch that to watch more space for these players to be in isolation situations and dominate one-on-one. But that's just me. That's
just really quickly. Speaking of this with Ice Cube and the Big Three, the NBA is so concerned about what happens off season, injuries, whatever. But these players playing a lifetime and playing these pro-ams.
Mm-hmm.
Why not give them a stage to play on the Big Three?
Mm-hmm.
Why not allow that to happen?
Put it on ESPN, put it on NBA TV. Like this is your player, your highest paid player. Like I don't why, but the
NBA ain't gonna market shit. Like that, and that's what they not marketing shit. The highest paid player, literally in the National Basketball Association, is about to go play for a market that's known in our community. Yes. And you not gonna say nothing about it.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna go look it up right now, but I ain't seen nothing as far as the NBA promote.
They promote high school players over Jaylen Brown, bro. Like I see more Cooper Flagg and Cameron Boozer than anything about this, which is crazy to me. Like that's crazy. This is literally, like I said, to you, the highest paid player in the NBA playing in the Big Three. Like y'all can't even support a little bit and be like, hey, y'all check out, because Big Three never gonna supplant the NBA. Like that, but you still choose not support. That's crazy. That's crazy. But hey, it's such as life right now. Such as life. All right, we can wrap it up right here. Next week, we are doing the top 10 small forward. So despite being low rated, despite being low budget, despite begging for viewers, we will be back next week. And we will continue to have clips from our show that may or may not be controversial on Twitter, TikTok, well, X, whatever the damn thing called, X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever it's going to be. We will be there, and we hope that y'all be there too. So stay safe. Be blessed. Peace.